Dr. Gilda Carl, Dr. Gilda, how are you? I guess we're waiting
Hi.
on our talk show together that I had manifested for a morning show or some sort of big national deal, and it's coming soon to a theater near you. But let's go with the topic today, President Donald J. Trump. What's going on now?
This is remarkable. This morning I was at a meeting, the International Council for Men and Boys, where I am a spokesperson, and the president of the organization drew our attention to this that had been issued in light of Men's Health Week. He said there is a vicious campaign against masculinity. These are the things that I kept saying on social media, and some people said, "What are you, nuts?" Okay, let me continue. This war on manhood has left many American men in a state of loneliness. Who talks about that? Confusion
You,
and emptiness
you, you,
with
you, you.
devastating consequences. Men in the United States are 4 times more likely than women to commit suicide and more than twice as likely to overdose. Now, on the back of this book, Real Men Don't Go Woke, are the statistics. Men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women. He and I are drawing from the same statistical
When he
data.
brought this up today?
This was, we found it 2 weeks ago during Men's Health Week. And my organization is going to run with this because this is what I have been talking about forever. And people have thought I had two heads when I talked about it. And I said, no, there is a war against men, and we have got to do something about it because it's even filtering down to our young boys who are committing suicide. And when I had that big book signing in Scottsdale, it was an enormous amount of people there. And I was telling them about the suicide rate of men being so high. And some of them looked at me like, huh? And then we went home. And when we all came back the next day, I got a phone call from one of the women in attendance. She said she can't stop crying. Her best friend's 13-year-old son committed suicide while I was talking about young boys committing suicide. This is no joke. This is such great proportions now that the President of the United States is in tune with this and he knows something must be done.
Something must be done. And
It's
I
not right.
mean, this was predicted. And I don't want to see, this is not my job to come out here on the soapbox and put my 2 cents in because is a passionate subject, but I learned to keep my mouth shut. But ultimately, the
You
death
shouldn't
of
keep your mouth
boys,
shut. That's the
the
problem.
death of boys as we know it is for one reason only. The US Department of Education looked at how women were far behind boys in academics. So they dummied down sciences. So science didn't become interesting for boys. And they made school more and more where it's talkative and communicative versus what men and boys do well, which made it so that they
Right,
thought it was to catch girls up, which I think it was a good thing to look at ways to improve girls'
right,
academics. But what it
right.
did is it stagnated boys. So girls are dominating in the university, 70% women, 30% men go to college. And it's because men have been left behind academically. And
Yep.
academics, schooling is what will dictate success in certain terms. I'm not saying always, but if you ever did research on the number of college graduates who go to private school versus public school, it's ignorant to see the numbers are so much better. But the reason why is because of the caringness. But if kids don't feel comfortable in the classroom, they're told they have to explain things. They're told that they have to write out math in paragraph form. This is when which has been the death of boys, and it's done it. And
Well,
since no
there are
child
other.
behind,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
have I talk about that in Real Men Don't Go Woke. I also talk about the findings that it's more female centric in schools.
Right.
Female teachers, female guidance counselors, female principals. And boys don't have people to look up to as male role figures because the number of teachers in elementary school are usually female.
Yeah,
You
the
were
ones
one
that
of
they
them,
get
right?
male, they end up getting kicked out or are told that they should don't belong. They should be in high school.
Right.
And
That's
so
exactly right.
you don't get the right role models in those positions, but that's not the fix. If you're teaching standards and expecting kids to explain things in words when they can just explain it by solving the problem and saying you're not showing your work, so we're going to mark this wrong. And I'm telling you, I've lived through this
I,
as a teacher told to do this. I mean, so this is the kind of stuff that's happening, and trust
and
me,
there's
it is
And there's
that
something
you're
else. There's something else. There's also the bullying aspect.
yeah.
And the schools do not know what to do with bullying. For a while, I was running anti-bullying programs. And the research to that was fascinating. They found that all the money and some of these school systems spent a fortune for anti-bullying programs. And they found that the kids were mimicking the bullying that they saw on the cartoons, on the movies, and they started bullying just like they saw in on screen. So that wasn't an answer. And the schools don't know what to do. So Johnny is bullying Tom. What happens? Does anything happen to Johnny? Probably not. Does anything happen to Tom? Tom is then feeling like a loser because all the kids are teasing him. Oh, you were bullied by Tommy, by John, whatever name I chose. But the kids tease him for having been bullied, and the bully, bang, he is the strong guy. The schools are not handling this at all. They don't know what to do. So, I mean, you hear all of these horrible stories about how miseducation is done in our society. But we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about Donald Trump finally coming out, a president of the
Yeah, but
United
see
States.
that, but we
The-
can't say those things. But go
yes, we can say those things. Why can't we say those things? Oh, you're
ahead. Because of the backlash of the system.
wait. What can we not say, and who's going to give us backlash?
No comment. You have to ask other people that want to speak up on this. I mean, the bottom line is,
Okay, excuse
how
me.
are we going to go ahead?
I am the one who is speaking up on behalf of men. And I have been ridiculed by women, woke women, who are saying to me, "What the heck are you doing
Well,
in
then
this?"
why aren't you getting on those shows, The View and stuff?
I don't want to be on The View. I
We
was
need
on
to
The View when
sit.
they were normal, when they were nice, lovely ladies.
Well, you need to
Barbara
return to
Walters.
The View and go against Whoopi.
Ah, who's interested? I wouldn't even waste my breath.
See, but that's it. There you go. There's your opportunity. Another opportunity. All
Judge
right, all right.
Denise
So
walked off that show.
I'm gonna be Dr. Gilda's agent to get her a job on The View. I think it's
I
perfect.
don't want a job on The View. No, thank you. I don't want to be with mean girls. Will not do that. I don't want to be surrounded by mean people. And here I am advocating for people to stay away from all the meanness. I walk my talk. I don't want to be with anybody who is not
But
transparent.
aren't there some conservatives on The View?
Used to be. They got kind of kicked away.
Well, then that's where you're gonna go is to The View.
Oh no. Oh no. I
I,
don't wake up in the morning looking for a battle. I tell everybody whoever I'm coaching in relationships, I say, look, if you feel, uh-oh, another day, have to go battle with my spouse, then you're in the wrong spousehood. No good. That ain't gonna happen. Not under my
no
watch.
soup for you.
What? What was that?
No soup for you, the soup Nazi.
Oh, no. Okay, then I don't get the soup. All right, fine. I can live with that. You know
So
what? You get to a point in your life that you finally come to terms with who you are, what you can do, what you can't do, and what you won't put up with. And I've
Amen.
reached that point. And I don't want any of my clients to feel that they have to put up with anything that they don't have to put up with. You know, there's a term in business called glossing. And people are making nice to the boss, saying what they think is right to say, doing what they think is the right thing to do. And what happens? They can't even look in the mirror anymore. They have given away their soul. It's got glossing in corporate America. It is called people pleasing when you're dating or when you're in a social setting that is not corporate. It is the same stuff. You're lying to kiss ass with probably the wrong person. And then you find out somehow that you've kissed the wrong ass. And then what are you going to do? Uh-oh, I
You
wasted
know
my
what? You were
time.
gonna. Can we sing the Man in the Mirror song? Michael
Yeah,
Jackson. You
yeah,
know,
right.
I did interview Doctor, the guy who killed Michael Jackson.
Oh,
You have to check out that interview.
oh.
That was real journalism. And I've had Bill Ayers on my show. I mean, I am the biggest independent podcaster without a deal out there ever, who I've interviewed.
Well, I wouldn't
Bottom
advertise
line,
without a deal. I wouldn't
without
have.
a deal, meaning I didn't get the Joe Rogan deal. I'm waiting for the Joe Rogan deal.
Ah, so are a lot of people.
No, give me my $60 million and I'll turn it into 60 million. Get it?
You just said
No,
give me
I've just played
1 million,
you.
I'll turn it into
But so
60
remember,
million.
here's the deal. If Mark Cuban can take something and sell something that's nothing and make it worth nothing and still become something, that's a power of Pittsburgh.
We are not talking about that now, though,
You know how Cuban
because
made his
veered off
billion.
into another direction, Neil.
I'm just joking with you because that's what we're going to have fun. So, why are men being left behind? Education. I had a
Not only
conversation with
education.
one of my other clients today about AI, or A1,
It's not, okay, hang on,
As
hang
Linda
on.
McMahon says, A1.
It's
And
not,
basic, go ahead.
it's not only education. It's what they see in the house, what they see around them, what they see in the movies, what they see on the large screen and the small screen. All of these things make men diminutive and they make fun of guys. And the guys are these idiots who are being whipped, p-whipped by their women.
Yeah,
And you know,
because
Kevin Sorbo, I had this discussion with him in New York, and he was talking about how miserable he was in Hollywood, and they gave him such a hard time. He moved to Florida, where he's
did you
doing
give him the
sailing.
idea? Were you part of the consult that made Kevin
No,
Sorbo a
I was
star?
not. I didn't even know that I was identifying with men who felt diminished at that time.
Oh.
I was finding my way through the weeds with women and trying to raise their self-image. And then after I wrote that book, Don't Lie on Your Back for a Guy Who Doesn't Have Yours, then I realized, but men are not going to have women's backs because they don't have their own. And then I heard this voice from above. And I know this is very woo-woo, everybody, and you're gonna give me all these comments about that. But I heard a voice saying, "You better talk to men now because they're not being spoken to." So I ran with it. And this is what I ended up with.
The Man in the Mirror. Oh my gosh. So I mean, do you think so? I'm saying it's education. It all stems to education because education leads to the whole societal view of everything.
But it's
It
not
starts out
only
in,
education. Education starts in the home. And if you don't have parents who are showing themselves as strong men, if you don't have two parents in the home, that's another problem, but male and a female. But if you have only one parent in the home and it's a female, then they're more thinking along female terms. But if they have a male figure who's not a wuss, that's something that young boys can be looking up to. It's not what has happened to men, however, is not good, and it's so damaging that even the president of the United States has to come out and talk about it. Do you know that parents are thanking me for writing this book? They see what's happening to their kids. The kids are so confused. The kids are so lonely. All the things that Donald Trump talked about. That's what I've written about, and that's what I've experienced with these guys. And when I see them, they are, because I'm dating, I see them and they are advanced 50s, 60s, 70s, and they are still confused. They still don't know how to be, how to speak their mind, how to be vocal about what they like, what they don't like. And this has all been squashed out of them. So I can't be their teacher. I can't be their mother. That's not my role. So,
Well, I'm hoping that you'll be able to make those changes and we all will make those changes. But I say it stems to education. And you're looking at a problem that's going to be not the far reaching problem. We're going to see a bigger, bigger problem coming soon.
like what?
And that's where do people that are average survive in the world of AI? And
In
what
any world,
relationship are you going to have? And what relationship are you going to have with your AI chatbot? And you'll be teaching relationships. How can you get along with your AI boss?
why don't you just instead, why don't you have your own podcast and have people select the right sex doll for themselves? Okay? Here, instructions.
That would probably work out well. That would be a great show.
Here,
So
instructions.
so
Here,
this is it. There,
follow these directions. Number one, what color eyes do you want? Okay, green eyes mean this, blue eyes mean that. Brown eyes mean,
Larry Flint is going to come up with that show. All right, or
isn't
whatever.
Larry Flint gone?
I think he's dead.
I think he is.
All right. All right. So go to drgilda.com, schedule a call with Dr. Gilda today. She only has 2 spots remaining. Go check her out. And